Hi everyone, welcome to the speed learning series of ServiceNow Third-Party Risk Management. In every session of this series, we will share with you quick insights into must-know features of third-party risk management. We have got a great topic lined up for you in this session, so let's get started. This speed learning session will discuss navigating TPRM Next Experience UI and Workspaces. All right, the agenda for this speed learning session is discuss TPRM Next Experience UI and Workspaces. It will include a discussion of TPRM user personas, demo vendor risk management workspace, third-party risk management application menu, and we will provide resources for your offline references. We'll then wrap up with a recap of key takeaways from the session. Okay, let's talk about roles in context of third-party risk application. The TPRM application installs the following roles that activates the respective user personas for your implementation. TPRM administrator, manager, assessor, reviewer, contract negotiator, and approver. In addition, business user persona interacts with the TPRM Next Experience UI via the Employee Center to raise due diligence request. However, does not utilize a role installed by a TPRM application. The business user persona is enabled by the platform level role SNC_internal. In case you're wondering if GRC business user role is needed for raising due diligence request from the Employee Center, then the answer to that is no. SNC_internal role is sufficient privilege to raise a due diligence request as an employee of your company. Let's quickly review briefly how the responsibilities of the TPRM user personas differ. TPRM administrator holds the highest level of access within the application. They are responsible for the overall management of the application, including configuration, setup, and ongoing maintenance. TPRM manager oversees the lifecycle of third-party and engagement risk assessments. They are responsible for reviewing, managing, and maintaining risk assessment records, as well as performing some key setup activities, typically through no-code configurations to support risk management processes. TPRM assessors are responsible for evaluating and managing third-party and engagement risk assessments. They play a crucial role in identifying and analyzing potential risks to help ensure informed decision-making. TPRM reviewer supports the third-party and engagement risk assessment processes by contributing to the risk assessment evaluation. They assist in reviewing assessment responses and help ensure completeness and accuracy before the assessments move forward. TPRM contract negotiator are involved in the due diligence process from a legal and contractual perspective. Their focus is on reviewing, negotiating, and advising on contracts and legal terms to ensure compliance and reduce risk emerging from third-party and engagement relationship. TPRM approvers are responsible for the final review and sign-off of the third-party and engagement risk assessments. They validate that all due diligence activities have been properly completed and ensure that the risk posture meets the organization's standards before approval. While the business users typically kick off the due diligence request, putting several processes in motion for onboarding, renewals, reassessments, and offboarding, the TPRM processes are primarily driven and managed by these user personas to fulfill their needs. Moving on, let's discuss the next experience UI and more specifically workspaces. Generally speaking, Next Experience UI activates a modernized visual design that improves the look and feel and usability of all applications delivered via the Now platform. It has been made available to all users starting in the San Diego release. On the left-hand side of the slide is the screenshot of the third-party risk management application menu in the application navigator. In the middle of the slide is the screenshot of the vendor risk management workspace. In the right side of the slide, you can review the vendor management workspace. Out of the box has 7 pages that offer purpose-built tools and information that assist TPRM user personas to fulfill their responsibilities with ease. We will review vendor management workspace and its pages in detail shortly. Also, a quick call out. TPRM assessments will be delivered via the Smart Assessment Engine soon. Don't worry, we will include a resource for you on what Smart Assessment Engine is in case you are not yet familiar with it. Okay, before we move on with the demo, here is a key question you'll most likely have. Why is ServiceNow's third-party risk management applications workspace referred to as vendor management workspace and not third-party risk management workspace? Nope, this isn't a trick question. There's a deep-rooted and logical reasoning behind this. Let me explain. ServiceNow's vendor management workspace is functionally shared workspace between two key products of ServiceNow, IT service management and integrated risk management. Additionally, it integrates data from service portfolio management, contract management, continual improvement management, and third-party risk management ServiceNow applications. The workspace integrates data from these applications to provide a comprehensive view of the vendor services with a primary objective to monitor vendor performance and compliance. It is the third-party risk application that provides the risk and compliance angle. Hopefully, that background strengthens your understanding of the naming convention. From a configuration perspective, there is nothing to worry about. Each application components are sitting in their own bubble, more technically referred to as application scope. Okay, we will now demo the third-party risk management application navigator, application menu, and vendor management workspace. The demo is based on Yokohama release and version 20 at the time of this recording. All right, I am now logged in as a system administrator. Let's navigate to plugins and type vendor management workspace. And as we search and review the results, we notice that the vendor risk management workspace is installed from third-party risk management application. And there are three other plugins that are listed here: vendor manager workspace, performance analytics content pack, and vendor management workspace UI components. Notice the app ID, they all start with SN_ITSM. These are the plugins from the ITSM product. And when activated, they also are available. They also have components that are installed and available on the vendor management workspace. But again, as I said, these components sit in their own application scope. So there is nothing for you to worry about in terms of configuring for third-party risk management. Okay, I'm going to now impersonate third-party risk manager, and we will navigate to the workspaces and vendor management workspace. Now, as we are at the vendor management workspace, let us review the home page to begin with. So the first home page here, the home page here has a section third-party risk overview. This has a report for total third parties, which are also having a scoring by risk rating. You can drill down into any of these scores, and you can access the third-party records, and then you can access the third-party record form, and so on and so forth. So you can pretty much do the drill down across all the reports and access the respective system of records. The other report here is total engagements, and this is also providing information by risk rating. You also see quick actions on the right-hand side. Note that these quick actions are available to third-party risk managers and assessors, but they are not available to third-party risk reviewers. The actions do change for third-party risk reviewers. Scrolling down, we see third-party population overview section. There's a report here for risk rating by third-party tiers. Risk rating is a score from a risk assessment of third parties and engagements that evaluates the potential risk of third-party organization, whereas third-party tier is a classification of third party into categories of potential risk. The other report that we have here on the right-hand side is top risk areas. Top risk areas is a report about the average risk score from engagements that are associated with each risk domain. In ServiceNow's third-party risk application, risk domains are referred to as risk areas. As we scroll down further, we will see a report for issues by priority, which lists the count of issues and lists the issues on the right side. As we scroll down further, there is no data at this time. You would have fourth parties overview section where you can see the list of known fourth parties and unknown fourth parties, which is basically a count of fourth parties and their sub parties that are associated with the third parties that you are partnering with. And the report of unknown fourth parties displays those fourth parties that are being tracked, but they do not necessarily have a relationship via the third parties. With that, we completed the review of the homepage. Moving on to due diligence management page. Use due diligence management page to track, prioritize, and manage due diligence requests and access actionable reports, typically by third-party risk managers and assessors, although is also available to third-party risk reviewers. Third-party risk managers can perform a wide variety of tasks from the due diligence management page. They can work on all processes in the workflow for a due diligence request. We'll see what that means. So at the top here, we see all the tiles displaying due diligence request count in different stages of the workflow. These are all due diligence requests that are active, due diligence requests that are new, which are undergoing the IRQ process, have TP element process completed or are, under the TP element collection process, under due diligence process, approvals, contract risk, final review, and closed. You can click on each of these tiles and that would change the list of due diligence requests here, which is currently being displayed as active processes. So if you click on new request, notice how the list title also changes to indicate that. You can, as a third-party risk manager, drill into any of these due diligence requests and follow the workflow. You could, let's take another example over here for example, this one, the work faster. You could drill down into some of the other tabs and access related information. So those are the activities you are able to perform. You're able to basically manage the entire workflow and the related sub workflows within the due diligence process. Next, what we have here is a due diligence aging section. Reports here display due diligence request by age for third party and engagement, respectively, as we can see. You can filter these reports by due diligence request type, onboarding, engagement, reassessment, engagement, and so on and so forth. And then the section over here displays ongoing due diligence management request. This is basically displayed as scores or really metrics. You can see there are 13 active due diligence requests, 2 which are closed, 2 due diligence requests are closed. There are no canceled due diligence requests. Then we have the due diligence workflow, days to completion section that displays average completion time for each workflow over a period of time. So this is what is presented on the due diligence management homepage. Moving on to risk activity page. So this particular page is used to identify, assess, identify assessments, issues, and tasks that need attention. So here the third-party risk managers, assessors, and reviewers can monitor the queues. We see total open assessments by overdue and pending, total open issues, and total open tasks, respectively. Activity overview by, as in like this section contains reports for assessments by state, issues by state, and tasks by state. And then there are several other reports that indicate assessments by risk rating, issues by priority, and tasks by priority. And at the bottom is the list of expiring third-party risk assessments this month. Okay, navigating to the dashboards page. The dashboards page displays the third-party insights dashboard and TPRM custom analytics dashboard, as well as any other dashboards that you and your team may create. TPRM custom analytics dashboard. This dashboard is pre-configured with a default list showing all active questionnaire instances relevant to your role. The list has customizable columns, enabling you to filter and group data according to your preferences. You can export the data. TPRM managers have full edit access to this dashboard, while TPRM assessors and third-party risk management reviewers have read-only access to this. This dashboard serves as a centralized hub for efficiently tracking and comparing assessment responses, making it easier for you to manage vendor risk assessments. Next is the third-party insights dashboard. This dashboard is highly versatile. It's a blank template that includes instructions to help you customize it to your specific needs. You can click add element, and you can add several elements such as data visualization, bar charts, trend analysis, and score reports to create custom sections and data visualizations. TPRM managers and assessors and TPRM reviewers can view this dashboard, while TPRM managers can edit and share this dashboard. Moving on to risk concentration map page. The risk concentration map page pinpoints the geographical location of active third parties and engagements. You can configure the filters you can configure the filters to view particular risk ratings and engagement types. So let us say if I select the filter as very high risk rating and engagement type as consulting and apply the filter, it will show the list of third-party engagements. Currently, you do not really see much on the map over here, but that is what the intention is. If you remove the filters, you can see all the engagements and third parties listed over here. So, and the tab on the left-hand side over here gives you a list of third parties and engagements. You can drill down into them. So for example, if I find work faster, shows the information about work faster, risk rating, risk tier, and some other information, and a list of engagements that is currently in flight with the work faster third party. So that covers pretty much the risk concentration map. Moving on, navigating to the tasks page. Task page helps navigate the assigned tasks to an individual assignee and group members. So you can navigate the tasks that are assigned to you as an assignee or to your group. You can navigate to tasks such as due diligence request, inherent risk assessments, issues, and tasks, all that are assigned to you. And you can also apply the filters to by using these filters here. So you can apply them, or you can view all the tasks in your queue. Moving on to the list page. List page is a general purpose page that enables access to all items that you can view or act on. This page is accessible to TPRM managers, assessors, and reviewers. So you can see in the list over here is the list of third parties, third party elements, due diligence request, tiering risk assessments, external risk assessments, internal risk assessments, issues, tasks, event-driven management, and risk intelligence provider setup. We'll talk about those in a little bit over here, but the idea is to be able to provide access to the user personas from the workspace to the system of records that are relevant to third-party risk management. With that, let us move on to the application navigator. All right, now let's take a look at the application navigator for third-party risk management application. So I have searched here for third-party risk management, and here is the list of application. Here's the application, the list of menu items. What we see over here is this allows us to launch the vendor management workspace. We see third parties section here, which allows us to access the third parties, third party contacts, and all fourth parties. Again, engagement section that allows us to access all engagements. Third party elements, you can access all third party elements, those elements that have been converted into entities by the third party risk manager. You can access the due diligence request, all due diligence request or open request, tiering assessments. So you can access the tiering assessments within this section. You can access the internal assessments, which are IRQs in this section. You can access the external assessments over here in the external assessment section. And you can also access repeating assessments. A quick call out for tiering assessments and internal assessments before we talk about repeating assessments. In TPRM application, the IRQ is an internal questionnaire that improves the original tiering assessment process. IRQs enhance the internal risk assessments with increased flexibility, control, and scalability. Unlike a tiering assessment where external questionnaires are determined solely by the risk tier, an IRQ can dynamically trigger external questionnaires to your third parties based on the respondents' answers and risk tier from internal assessment. Coming to the repeating assessments, you can configure a third-party risk assessment to recur on a schedule to regularly update risk results for a third party or an engagement. So that's really the purpose of repeating assessments. You can access the list of issues. You can access the list of tasks. Moving on, this is the assessment setup section that is available to third-party risk manager. The third-party risk manager can set up the external assessment templates. The assessment templates utilize the questionnaire templates and document request templates. These are the templates that are available out of the box. And moving on over here, the next one that we would encounter is the event-driven management section. In this, what we are seeing currently, I just navigated to the active rules. Event-driven management allows to configure rules that auto-generate and send questionnaires and document requests to engagements and third parties. For engagements and third parties that meet certain criteria that you define, you specify the schedule and the assessment template that you want to automatically send to the third parties. And further, we can look at the tiering setup, the tiering questionnaire template, although I feel like this should ideally be somewhere over here, just below the assessment setup. You can see the tiering questionnaire templates that are available out of the box. Scoring setup has the risk domains, has the third-party components, the engagement components. Third-party components do not really change. Engagement components do. With that, the last couple of sections that we have over here is the risk intelligence provider section, where you can set up the providers for gathering the risk intelligence from providers such as BitSight, Rapid Ratings, etc. And then finally, the assessment submission rules. tier-based submission rule and provider-based submission rule. The difference really is so tier-based submission rule allows to trigger a risk assessment when the risk changes for a third party by using a tier-based assessment submission rule. This is a legacy feature and is replaced by the more comprehensive IRQ process. Provider-based assessment rule is a set of conditions and actions. In these rules, the third-party risk manager can specify that an update to a rating from the risk intelligence provider triggers an action that is specified in the rule, which typically is to create and send a third-party risk assessment or create an issue, task, or send an email. So with that, over here, what we see is the administration section where the third-party risk administrator can configure the properties, etc., user groups, and so on and so forth. So with that, we are pretty much wrapped up with the demo. Okay, going back to the slides, hopefully the demonstration of the next experience UI and workspaces for TPRM application was helpful. Additionally, we have gathered for you a few helpful resources that should aid in scaling up on next experience UI and workspaces. So you can take full advantage of the modern user interface. We will drop the links to the resources alongside the community page so you can access them. All right, let's recap the benefits of Next Experience UI and Workspaces. So what is Next Experience UI and Workspaces for you? It's the simplified workflows, low-code tools, and unified navigation that make accessing work and applications easier and faster. What are the key benefits? Simply put, it's increased productivity, contextual information, and rapid expansion. And more specifically for vendor risk workspace, really vendor management workspace, sorry. It provides the streamlined user experience for all personas, workflow-driven due diligence, and bird's eye view of risk concentration for all third parties and engagements. To wrap it up, I encourage you to leverage product documentation and now create resources for guidance and jumpstart. If you encounter any issues, let your system administrator assess if a support ticket is needed. Thank you for watching. Hope this speed learning session has provided quick insights into navigating Next Experience UI and Workspace for TPRM application. Thank you.